Rasimir TV. The process of being with your own emotional variances brings you consciously through your own storms to a point of peace and clarity, so that you then have the confidence instilled in you to know this person doesn't have to have power over me. Today, when that person sends me this text, or when my boss says this to me in a condescending way, I'm not going to take it personally. I'm going to watch from my primary position of power. You are the center. You are the one behind giving light to all of those emotions. It's like they're different masks for you to express those versions of yourself. The key is to realize that when anger is building up, and how many of us feel that anger start when someone cuts you or says something in a bad way, whatever the situation is that really just riles you inside, and then you feel it. That feeling is the process of you having to cognize and acknowledge your emotional balance has shifted as a result of this experience. And the emotion is telling you about something that you are experiencing. It's not about the situation in front of you. It's a reminder that you're angry because the situation doesn't meet the way you know it could have been, or the way it could feel for you, which at its base is equanimity, and at its best, let's say, is happy, joyful. You are now angry. So what is the process in dealing with that? The most important thing you have to do is acknowledge your feeling. So when we repress, when we suggest, no, I'm fine, no, nothing's wrong, what you're doing is you're lying to yourself. And when you do that, you are now holding back a natural expression that is a part of you. And why do we do that? Society demands it on so many levels, right? Keep a happy face on, move through, do this thing, make sure you look like everything is moving smoothly in your world and that you're not rustling too many feathers. That's the general norm for a lot of versions of people experiencing this world. Social conformity. But what happens when you have given up your sense of identity to social conformity, and you no longer acknowledge or process your own internal dialogue, your own internal emotions that are constantly moving within you like an ocean deep below? You have to understand that you have an ocean of emotion, and you are a process of that watching and happening and engagement always. You never escape your emotional processing. A lot of people will suppress, thinking that they've escaped the experience. It will come out from under the rug at some point or another. You have to be vigilant in watching your own emotional basin to notice when things are moving out of awry for you, because that's all your emotions are. They're guiders, indicators of your emotional alignment, how you feel in alignment with yourself. Now, yourself is center, it's still. Okay, what I'm suggesting is to go through the process of your emotion in the same way that if you are out to sea and a raft was your only lifeline and there was a storm coming, you are going to hold on to that raft for dear life. And no matter what that storm does to you, you're going to watch. You're going to watch and see. You're not going to fall asleep. No, you're going to be vigilantly watching until that storm passes and you know you're safe to relax. In the same way, the space of you is your raft, the space I am, the space of your being. It's this bubble in which you're experiencing the entirety of your emotional experiences, all the variances of that ocean. And when storms come and people hit things and trigger you in different ways, the waves start moving rockily. And so it is your choice and it's your responsibility to yourself to be accountable of the experience you're having by watching and feeling that experience as it vibrates and oscillates through you in the center of your stomach. Wherever you feel that emotion rawly and intensely, just let it be. Let it fully wring itself out through you. And now I'm not telling you to act out. I'm talking about an internal process, an internal watching, because you're not escaping the bubble of your experience. And irregardless of that person who's triggered that experience or not, they're gonna go. But that emotion, that residual resentment, all that stuff, it's inside you. And so to process that, which is what we're here to do, requires your active observation, your active feeling of what's happening. And so just like being on a raft in the ocean, you've got to be intensely vigilant, holding on, not to the story, but to yourself. And who are you? You are the one watching. The part and process of the experience, that just observing in awareness the totality of this monstrosity that is this emotional reptile moving in you. You need to watch ferociously how that predator moves inside, and your mind is going to try and feed it stories, and it's going to be moving in and around. You've just got to let it go. Let it be, and watch as that vibration slowly but surely begins to dissipate. And when it dissipates, you're going to know it's going to come to a quiet point, and then it's just going to dissolve. And when that happens, you will have actively processed out your own emotion. And you're going to feel really good, because you're going to have, as you do this, you're going to get better and better at it, faster and faster, until it's just second nature. But in the beginning stages of acknowledging your feelings, it's going to feel a little annoying, you're going to feel aggressive and angry towards other people because you have to do this. And that's okay. That's part of it. But you are becoming radically responsible and accountable to yourself for your own experiential well-being. And that's the process, as we talked about. And you're going to see that I can watch these emotional variances in me just as I would a basketball. I can hold it, and I can look at it, and I can just let it spin its course without buying the stories that my thought projecting mind is placing on it, constantly trying to make it more enticing, more grappling, more radically inducing of my attention and my emotional distress. Instead, I'm going to pull my attention to my heart, to the space from where I'm watching the experience happen in my stomach, and I'm going to be with it. I'm going to allow it to take its natural course, but I'm going to watch it as vigilantly as I would watch that storm at sea. And so do this when you're experiencing your next ripple in your ocean, and tell me if it doesn't bring you clarity, peace, and alignment. Thank you. We'll talk soon.